Hey Todd, can I get a lift? During this episode, I'm going to show you two pieces of machinery that our theaters use that many of us take for granted. They are the lifts. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. Gary, isn't that the orchestra pit? The answer is yes, but what I want to show you is what moves this pit up and down when we get ready for a show. Here in the Victoria Theater, the lift moves up and down with machine screw jacks that are capable of handling 13,275 pounds of weight. And the entire pit moves at the breakneck speed of 12 feet per minute. Now you are headed all the way down to the Victoria basement, which is about 13 feet from the stage floor. Here in the Schuster Center, we have a really cool lift system. It's called a spiral lift driven system, and it's split into 3 different sections. Now, when sitting still, the upstage section can hold 32,700 pounds of weight. The middle stage section can hold 89,400 pounds, and the downstage section, where you see all these chairs, this can hold 68,700 pounds of weight. Now, all these lifts move at the lightning pace of 6 feet per minute. So, you want to see them working? Check this out. Pretty special, right? So why do we call this the orchestra pit anyway? Well, that's a much more recent development than you think. In 1876, Wagner's Bayreuth Festspielhaus, or Festival House, opened with a brand new pit configuration for musicians, which hid the musicians from the audience's view, but not their sound. This was a radical concept and not widely used. And that's because the pit area was considered part of the audience experience all the way through the early 20th century. However, today, we see plenty of musicals and operas that hide musicians from the audience's view during performances. So, what was the last show you saw that used the orchestra pit? I want to thank all of our supporters, our sponsors, donors, foundations, and everyone who's donated to Dayton Live. We've been able to keep our stage lifts in great shape thanks to your support, but the need is still there. So if you can, donate to Dayton Live, your home for arts, culture, and entertainment. You can do that at DaytonLive.org or text CREATE to 243-725. Now, I wouldn't let you go without giving you one more tidbit about the orchestra pit in theater lore. Way before we had mechanical lifts, theater makers were using the space under the stage for all sorts of special effects. They would cut trapdoors into the stage floor, create hidden staircases, even masked openings weren't uncommon. And eventually, we began calling the space under the stage Hades, in honor of the Greek god and the underworld. Medieval audiences were largely illiterate, but nonetheless could tell whether or not a character was evil based on where it would enter the stage. So if you have a show where you need an evil character to enter, consider having them enter from Hades. Today's audiences will still understand. Well, thanks for joining me for this episode of Dayton Live Behind the Scenes. I'll see you next time.